consider just doing the open records and putting a 1-year sunset on it. And there's just a lot of stuff in there. People are talking about, do we need a reporting requirement to see how well these are doing their stuff? I'm going to request an interim from the Senate President to look at this, see if we can move forward on that. This is not letting me join to see how many other people we have here, but it's okay. Technology is working now, so now we can go ahead and get started. So with that, committee, I would like to take action on 2245 and ask Adam if he can give us a briefing.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. House Bill 2245 would permit the Division of Vehicles to collect emergency contact information as part of a driver's license records and allow for law enforcement agencies to use such information in the case of emergency. Again, the bill would require or allow the division or require the division to maintain in its files a record, name, address, phone number of individuals who have been authorized to be contacted by the holder of a valid driver's license, instruction permit, or ID card. Any emergency information collected by the division would be confidential and would not be allowed to be released except for specific situations, which are spelled out in the bill. And also the bill would allow the division to provide on their applications as a way for the applicant to provide the information and allow the applicant to either add, amend, or delete the information from the database. And with that, I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
And just to clarify, it is optional, correct? Because you can delete it also.
That is correct. It is optional.
Thank you. Committee questions for Adam. Senator Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Adam, would that information be subject to open meetings, Cora? Open records? Not meeting. You can see my school board tenure has affected my brain.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the bill, it said the information shall be confidential except for, so it should not be subject to Cora, would be my reading of the bill.
Thank you. That's what I hope to hear. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Committee, further questions for Adam? Senator Pittman.
Adam, I'm supportive of this, but I am wondering, can law enforcement also use this emergency contact as an investigative tool if one has a driver's license and then go in and just want to be fully clear that one could put that on there and then as an investigation, police officers probably could go in and use emergency contact to find next of kin to do investigations and such, right?
Thank you, Senator. The explicit reasons for how they can access information is pretty clear. Has to be for, just want to make sure I don't misstate anything on the bill. It's a little broad, either, holders injured or dies in a vehicular accident or in another emergency situation. So, or another emergency situation on page 1, line 14 and 15, if it would satisfy that requirement, which is admittedly a pretty broad statement, I'm assuming that would satisfy the requirement of the bill to be able to access the information.
Thanks, Adam.
Committee, further questions for Adam? Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Adam. I would ask, it appears that this is via a website. Are they also able to do it manually?
it doesn't really specifically state either way that I can tell in the bill. I wasn't actually the drafter of this one. It states forms and procedures. So there isn't really construction permit. It's really left undefined as to how the division is required, whether or not to do it online or in, as a paper copy. So I really can't, well, there is, there actually.
Actually, I would say in section 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Section
There is
D, it refers to website and online. I don't see anything that allows for paper forms to be
That's correct.
submitted.
I misspoke, right? There is that requirement of electronic form. So for that component, I agree that does have an electronic component to it.
Yeah, I have concern over that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, committee. We could amend this bill and get it pushed to the floor if someone wanted to do an amendment to try and fix, if they were concerned about the open records request or that. I mean, we're getting late in the game, but or we don't have to kick it out, either one.
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like to work the bill, then I would request a conceptual amendment allowing for paper submission and to protection under open records request.
We have a motion and a second for a conceptual amendment. Adam, did you catch that?
Yes, Mr.
Second,
Chairman.
J.R. Clays. Adam, did you catch that amendment?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. I did. So instead of being just an electronic form, also allow for paper submission and then make clear, even the records are confidential, but make clear that they would not be subject to KORA.
Excellent. Committee, further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Amendment is adopted. We're back on the bill. Committee, what's your pleasure on the bill? Senator Tyson.
I have another question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Is there another statute, or is it implied somewhere, the liability, since they would be collecting this online? Or is that something that the state hasn't dealt with yet?
Thank you. Yeah, there really is, are you referring to like a breach of some sort of disclosure breach?
Yes. Or data breach?
Yeah, unfortunately, this bill doesn't really touch on that, and I'm not familiar enough of the state's liability on those matters, so there really isn't anything that this bill addresses with that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just ask that we, maybe your interim study include data breaches also, since you'll be studying privacy at the same time. Or is that too broad, Mr. Chairman?
Well, it's something we probably need to take a look at. It's coming up here in the last part of the session, so.
Thank you.
Senator Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move we pass out House Bill 2245, favorable for passage as amended.
Seconded. Moved by Senator Hawk, seconded by Senator Clays as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Bill's going out favorable for passage. Committee, today is the last hearing. If you wouldn't mind, please take your brown folders with you. If not, Florence will deliver them to your office. With that, thank you for all your hard work this year. Committee, we are adjourned.